Today I want to read a passage from Dastan Ghadar, The Tale of a Mutiny by Zahir Dehlvi. The original is 1857 के चश्मदीद हालात Al-Maruf Dastan Ghadar. It was published in 1914 after the death of Zahir Dehlvi, who was a courtier at the court of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the Daroga Mahi Maratib. After the fall of Delhi in 1857 September, he and his family, along with many others, had to flee Delhi and ran from pillar to post till finally amnesty was given and they came back many years later. He took employment in various courts of Jaipur, Alwar, Tonk, etc. And this book describes the tumultuous happenings of 1857 as also gives a bit of background about the Delhi of those times. Now this is a time when the British are realizing that they have to, the only way they can fulfill the imperial designs is by their divide and rule policy, are trying to create divisions in society. Zahir Dehlvi is a very pragmatic man. He realizes that it is the British who are ruling India at that time and he's careful. His descriptions are very vivid, but he misses out on some important events like the trial of Bahadur Shah Zafar. His accounts are all corroborated by Jeevan Lal and other writers of contemporary writers who have described 1857. Now this account is called How Mughal Emperors Cherished Their Subjects. This order also ended with the house of Timurids. The Mughals valued their subjects and their Rayyat Nawazi, that means cherishing their subjects, has no parallel. It cannot be found in any other kingdom in history. The subjects of the Mughal emperors were considered their progeny. Once some Hindus, along with officers of the British government, hatched a plot to throw out all the butchers out of the city. The British government gave orders stating that these butchers should take their shops out of the city. They had all the shops within the city closed. When the butchers realized that they had no choice but to obey and lose their means of livelihood, they banded together, took their wives, children and possessions and came and camped on the river bank under the Jharoka. The Mughal emperors gave Jharoka darshan every morning from a small balcony. From there they appealed to the king, asking, how can we leave our city and go away? The cherisher of subjects, the emperor, heard their petition and gave the order that his tent be pitched alongside theirs on the river bank. Whatever is the state of my subjects is my state, he said. As per the decree of the emperor, the servants immediately took the imperial paraphernalia and installed it on the banks of the river. As soon as the British resident heard the news, he came running to the emperor and respectfully asked, Huzur, what are you doing? All the people of the city will come and stand here with you. Basha Salamat replied, I am wherever my subjects are. My subjects are my children and I cannot be separated from them. Has flesh ever been separated from the fingernail? Today the butchers have been given orders to leave the city. Tomorrow it will be some other community. The day after it will be another one, and these orders will continue. Slowly the whole city will be emptied. If the intention of the British government is to empty the city, then tell me so in plain words. I can take all my people and go and live in Khwaja Sahib. This is Mehroli, where there was a summer palace built by his father Akbar Shah called Zafar Mahal. It's still there. And Khwaja Sahib is Khwaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, a saint in whom the Mughals had great belief. Since you have control over the city Shah Jahanabad, you can do whatever you will. The resident was taken aback. Huzur, don't even think of such an action. I will redress the complaints of these people immediately and settle them in the city. Huzur, please have your camp removed from here. The resident gave orders for the butchers to go back to the houses and ply their trade within the city as before. The tent of the emperor was removed. At another instance, the British government gave orders to the herdsmen, that is the Ghosi, to take their family and cattle and leave the city. They were told to go and settle outside the city. There was tumult in the city, and once again the herdsmen, milkmen brought their families and cattle and came and camped on the river bank. Now if the butchers or the Kasais were Muslim, the Ghosis were Hindus. Once again, the emperor, the Rayyat Pana, was so distraught by the cries of the people and the distress of the cattle that he gave orders for his tent to be pitched alongside there so that he could share their sorrow. Once again, the resident came and pleaded with the emperor and gave orders revoking the previous ones so that the herdsmen could go back to their quarters in the city. This time, the emperor told the resident, look, do not exile my subjects from their houses in my presence. After me, you will be in control and can devastate the city. And that was what was done. This is Zahir Dehlvi's afternote on what happened after the fall of Delhi. From Kabuli Darwaza to the Qila, from Dariba to the fort, from Jama Masjid to the Delhi Darwaza, from Kucha Bulaki Begum to Khanam Ka Bazar, from Khan Dauran's Haveli to Daryaganj, thousands of houses were razed and destroyed. Delhi was turned into a desolate land that looked like a flat platform.